it's gonna wanna pull you forward. And the only thing keeping you from falling forward is your lower back muscles, okay? And in order to keep your lower back safe and still go up on the weight and still add a lot of muscle to your deltoids without having to strain your back, especially if you're doing deadlifts on different days and squats and all sorts of other exercises, you don't want to overtrain your lower back and put unnecessary pressure back there. You do it. Hi, Coach Padgett here, and today I'm going to show you how to work your shoulders. We're going to go over 3 basic exercises, okay? These are the foundation, just basic exercises that you're going to do, and you can do a lot of other fancy stuff, but you only really need these 3, and technically you only really need 2 of them, but it's really good to do the 3rd one because if you want to have have the ability to do anything functional with your shoulders and lift things overhead, then it's important. But I'm gonna show you how to work the front lateral and the rear delt, and that's the outside of the shoulder. Previously on this channel, I showed you how to keep your shoulder joint strong and how to get rid of shoulder pain and how to increase your mobility in the shoulder joint. I will link those videos below if you want to check those out if you haven't yet, and at the end of this video as well. But why don't we just get right into it, and I'll show you what to do, what not to do, and what order to do it in, okay? Let's go. All right, I'm gonna show you how to do, this one is the shoulder raise, okay? We're not gonna go directly in front, and we're not gonna go directly on the side. We're gonna go in between the 2. So you can get the lateral head, which is the side, and the front at the same time, okay? Save time instead of having to do 2 separate exercises. So we're gonna start with 10s here. And as you can see, I'm doing this right under a light so you can actually see the separation and the definition of that shoulder. So this is how you're gonna get this muscle to grow, okay? And you're gonna be able to make your shoulders look a lot bigger. And this is how you do it. So you're gonna have the dumbbells right on the sides of your legs, like not directly in the front, not all the way in the side, but in between the 2, okay? My elbows are slightly bent. They're not totally locked out, and they're not bent a lot, okay? Just a slight little bend. And I want the majority of the movement to come from my shoulder joint and not the elbow. I don't want the elbow moving at all while I'm doing this movement, okay? I wanna just keep it slightly bent, and then it's gonna stay fixed like that. So it's gonna look like this. Okay, I'm gonna go up, my elbows and my hands are gonna go up to about shoulder height. It's okay if you go a little bit past that, that's fine. But what you wanna focus on is you wanna look at where your elbow is, okay? A lot of people just focus on getting the arms up and they start doing this. They start throwing their hands up too high. And you don't wanna do that, okay? That's more of like an external rotation. That's not what we're doing here. We're just doing basic shoulder raises, okay? So again, it's gonna look like this. Okay, try to get a good tempo going. You want to get the elbows, again, about shoulder height. And it's even okay, actually, if your hands are even lower than your elbows. Okay, it's more important where your elbows are in relation to your shoulders. And so basically, even if it's like this, that's okay. All right, but I don't want to see that, okay? And another thing I don't want to see is your shoulders elevating while you do it. So I don't want to see this, okay? So like that, you don't want to see that, okay? So you want it to look just like this, okay? Just like this. And too many times, another common thing I see is as the person lifts their arms up, they bend their elbows more. So let's say I'm lifting and they start kind of like bending the elbows a lot, and that just makes the weight way lighter. Because the closer the weight is to your body, it's actually a lot lighter. The further away it is from your body, the weight starts getting heavier and heavier, okay? It's just lever arms, that's all it is, okay? So again, it's gonna look like this. You wanna get about 3 to 4 sets of 10 to 15 reps, okay? You're gonna start with lightweight. You might have to start with 5s if you're not used to this, but if the 5s feel way too light, like you can go 20, 25 reps and up, then grab the 10s, okay? Again, just like this. Up, slow on the way down. Up fast, pause, slow on the way down. Up fast, pause, slow on the way down. okay? Come up, try to fight it a bit on the way down. Come up, try to fight it a bit on the way down. As you go heavier, that's gonna be harder to do. You're still trying to make the effort to fight it on the way down, but it's gonna look a lot faster than that, okay? All right. Okay, another thing I wanted to talk about was, as you start going up on weight and you're doing the shoulder raises, what I like to do to be safe on the lower back, and if anybody, if any of you have lower back issues, what you want to do is you want to actually switch to single arm. So you're going to do one arm at a time, not like this, not alternating. You're still going to stick on one side, okay? But we're going to do it seated, and I'll show you that right now in a sec. And you're just going to do one side, okay? Till you're done with that side, and then we're going to switch, okay? And the reason for that is the heavier you go, as you lift up, the weight, although it's not directly in the front and it's not directly in the side, since it's in between the two, it's still kind of, the weight's still kind of a little bit in front of you. It's going to want to pull you forward. And the only thing keeping you from falling forward is your lower back muscles, okay? And in order to keep your lower back safe and still go up on the weight and still add a lot of muscle to your deltoids without having to strain your back, especially if you're doing deadlifts on different days and squats and all sorts of other exercises, you don't want to overtrain your lower back and put unnecessary pressure back there. You do it seated and you do one side at a time. So let's say I'm doing a 30-pound dumbbell in each hand. If I was doing this, I would have about 60 pounds wanting to pull me forward, and probably even more weight, because as it goes down with gravity and momentum, it's gonna wanna jerk my upper body forward, and I'm gonna have to really lock up my lower back in order to stay upright with good form. But if you do it single arm, it's only 30 pounds and your feet are planted, you're in a good position, and you have a lot more control. You have a wider base of support, you have the bench supporting you, you have the dumbbell in your other hand, so it's a counterweight, right? So trust me, it just helps out. We're gonna get to that right now, okay? All right, I got the other dumbbell right here. This is underneath the light. No pump, just cold, okay? And this is how you do the seated. I got 15 pounds right in my hands, okay? Here's how it goes. All right, the reason why you wanna stick to one delt or one shoulder at a time is because you keep a lot more tension on that side. And if you switch to alternating, every time you go to the other side, you lose that tension, which brings the intensity way down. Okay, as you get tired, what you're gonna wanna do, if let's say you're on the last couple sets, last few reps, and you feel like you can't have strict form anymore, totally okay on the last few reps, if you lean forward a bit, and then as you lean back, you get it helps you get the weight up, okay? Like little cheat reps. But the trick is not to be in a neutral position like this, and then to lean back as you lift, because then you're gonna be overextending your back. So if I just lift it from here and then lean back, now I'm gonna bend my back in a really bad position. But if I'm here and I just lean forward slightly and then lean back to about a neutral position, that's totally fine to do that just to get out, pump out a last couple reps or something like that. And from the front, it's gonna look like this. Let's see, I do my left side. Okay, I have the other dumbbell here, counterweight. It's gonna look just like that, okay? Remember, up fast, pause, down slow. Up fast, pause, down slow. Up fast, pause, down slow. And as you get heavier, it's not gonna look like that. It might look a little faster, but that's what you're trying to do, okay? Just from you trying to do that, you're gonna recruit a lot more muscle, okay? So now let's see what it looks like with a little bit more weight. Let's go 25 pounds. And I'm doing it at this angle just so you can see how it looks from the side, so you get the idea of how to do it, and you can see the delt really good, okay? Okay, let's look at this side next. All right, pretty good. Let's go a little heavier now. See what it looks like with 30 pounds, okay? And remember, if you can't do this controlled, seated, and you're just swinging everywhere, you're just going too heavy. Just start low. If you gotta start at 10 pounds, you gotta start at 12 pounds, 15 pounds, start there. And just keep working on it week after week. And you will get stronger and you'll be able to handle a lot heavier weight, okay? And just keep the form strict. And the better you keep the form and perform this exercise, you're just gonna develop your delts better, okay? No cheating. Here we go. Okay, other side. All right, let's move on to rear delts. Next is reverse flies. So I have the dumbbells already. You're gonna set the bench to an incline position, okay? And you wanna make sure the bench isn't too high. So it could be like the first or second click up, okay? You don't want it too high. You want it at just a slight angle, okay? And you can either put your knees on the seat pad if that seat goes up, or you can just put your feet on the ground, okay? This is to do it with your chest supported, so you don't have to use your lower back in the movement, okay? But regardless, you're gonna keep your abs braced the whole time you do this, okay? So you're gonna be in this position. Grab the dumbbells. I have 10s here. You can use 5s, 8s, 10s, 12s. Again, a weight that's not too heavy so you can keep the form nice and strict. And instead of doing a traditional reverse fly, which looks like this, out to the side, okay? Looks like that. We're actually gonna go back. We're gonna pull it kind of with the hammer grip style, and we're gonna pull slightly out, but mostly back, okay? And you want most of the movement coming from the shoulder joint, okay? So it's gonna look like this. You wanna come up fast, pause, fight it on the way down, okay? Try not to elevate the shoulders like that. Keep the shoulders down. Okay, these are going to be great for people that have shoulder problems. If you do this version of the reverse fly, you are less likely to, you're not going to really irritate your shoulders, is what my experience is, okay? And you're still going to work that rear delt right in here. And then another way to do this, I'm going to show you right now, is we're going to do it bent over, okay? I'll show you that right now. All right, here's the bent over version. Okay, you're going to keep your abs tight the whole time. Brace your abs, bend your knees, stick your butt back, okay? So you're going to be, let's get centered here. You're going to be in this position, You're not gonna round the shoulders, so don't let your shoulders do this. Keep your shoulders back, okay? And then from here, same kind of position, you're gonna pull back like that. This side angle. All right, this next one that I cannot skip out on is gonna be the reverse fly with the bands, and or if you have access to a cable, the positioning is gonna be pretty much the same, okay? So I'm gonna demonstrate that. I have a band right in here, and just have it looped around the top of my pull-up bar, and I'm gonna go ahead and demonstrate that, okay? So this is how you wanna do it. Have it crisscrossed. I took the handles off because they don't even need to be on here, okay? You can just grab it by these little kind of woven ends before the little metal carabiners on here. And here we go. You're gonna pull at a downward angle, down and out, okay? And if it's easier for you to irritate your shoulders, then you wanna go more down, like down here. If your shoulders are okay and they don't get irritated easily, or they're perfectly healthy, then you can go a little wider, okay? But it's good to go kind of at a downward angle, okay? Still gonna hit the rear delts just as fine without irritating your shoulders. What you don't wanna do as you do this, you don't wanna round. So let me show you from the side. So as you come down like that, you don't wanna go, as you pull down, you don't wanna go like that, okay? You'll see a lot of people doing that to get it down. Lean back slightly, chest sticking out. Keep that chest out, okay? Just right in this position, okay? Pause at the end, just like that, okay? And with the cable machine, you're just gonna put the cable towards one of the highest settings. If that's number 1, whatever, put it up there on both sides, and then you're gonna crisscross. You know, you want a double pulley, okay? You're gonna crisscross it, start up high, and then pull downward like that, okay? At a downward angle. So from the back, it should look like this, okay? And you can move your arms more down here, so you're kind of pulling in this position if your shoulders are really sensitive. If not, you can go a little wider, it's totally fine, okay? Just like that. And that's how you do it with the bands or the cables, okay? This is how you wanna do these exercises, okay? You wanna do the raises first with the reverse flies. You wanna superset those two, okay? Superset the shoulder raise with the reverse flies, okay? You're gonna go ahead, you're gonna do the shoulder raises, do a set, 10 to 15 reps around there, and then you're gonna go right into your reverse flies, okay? Right in here, either that one or bent over like I showed you already. And with only about a minute, you're gonna do each one back to back and then take a minute break. Do each one back to back, take a minute break, okay? Superset. After you do 4 rounds of that, then we're gonna go to the shoulder press, okay? And then you're gonna do 3 to 4 rounds of the shoulder press by itself, okay? Or if you're more advanced, you can do the shoulder press with something else like a back row or something like that. But that's how you wanna do it. And if 1 minute doesn't feel long enough of rest in between, then do about a minute, 15 seconds, somewhere around there, okay? You don't wanna rest too long. You wanna get a good workout, keep the intensity up, okay? The next one we're gonna do, which is the third exercise, we already did the first 2, which was shoulder raises and reverse flies, okay? The third one we're gonna do is gonna be shoulder presses, okay? Overhead shoulder press. Now, you'll find a variation of these online, on YouTube. You'll find people doing them behind the neck, all that stuff. I'm not gonna get into all that. This is just, my videos are supposed to be simple, basic. You just follow these exercises I'm telling you about. You're not gonna get injured. You don't have to worry about not getting full development. You're gonna get good development in the shoulders. You're gonna get strength, all the stuff you want. So let's just keep it simple, right? Why do anything that you don't have to do, right? And then later, if you want to throw in something different and see how it feels, see if your shoulders are okay with it, then, you know, be my guest. But this is basics, very simple. Let's strip it back, okay? Just these 3 exercises. This is the 3rd one. And we're gonna go over how to do it, what not to do, all that good stuff, okay? So one more last thing is the reason why I showed you the shoulder raise first and then the reverse fly is because you wanna do those first, okay? So I don't know, online, I haven't checked out all these fitness YouTuber videos to see what they say about this, but my experience over the last 25 years plus is that I've learned from doing, you know, learning the hard way is you want to do your raises first, okay? You want to do your rotations first actually, and rolling and all that kind of stuff that I mentioned in my other videos. But when it comes to just working the delts and the shoulders, you want to actually do your raises first, okay? And the reason being is that's going to be your lighter weight stuff. You're going to start with lightweight first. You're going to get blood in the entire joint, right? Especially with the rotations first, lateral rotations, all that stuff. And then starting off with the delts with 5 or 10 pounds, getting all the blood in there. And then once you go through your about 4 sets, somewhere around there, then you get to your shoulder presses. And now your front lateral delts and your rear delts are all warmed up. Your rotator cuffs are all warmed up. You have all the blood in there. It's all nice and warm. And now when you go for your presses, it's gonna feel great. You're gonna be able to you only have to do 1 lighter set and then you can easily go up on the weight. Okay, so why don't we get with it? So I'm gonna grab a barbell. I'll show you the barbell version first. I prefer that one because, and I'll show you why in a sec. But what we're gonna do is when you pick up the bar from the ground, always remember you wanna have good form because people might have good form while they're doing the exercise, but then when it comes to setting the weight down or picking the weight up, their form just goes out the window. They're not thinking about it, so they round their spine. So if I were to set this down, I'm gonna actually keep my abs nice and tight, and I'm gonna act like I'm gonna do a little mini deadlift. I'm just gonna set it down just like this, okay? Bend the knees a little bit, all right? So same thing with picking it up, except I'm gonna do kind of a clean, so I'll show you how that looks. So go ahead and come down, bend the knees. My back should look nice and straight in here. I shouldn't be in this rounded position, okay? Shoulders back, bend the knees, pick that up. And then from here, I'm just going to lean forward a bit, and I'm actually gonna do an upright row kind of fast, and then snap my wrist back. So from here, I'm gonna lean forward and just do that, okay? So it might take a little practice. You might wanna start with some lighter weight first. And if you can see, I have my wrist bent back, okay? It's in this position. My elbows are in front, very important. You'll see a lot of people put the elbows out to the side and they'll spread their arms out. And my grip width is important too. You don't wanna go too wide, you don't wanna go too narrow. Okay, so it's gonna look like this. There we go. Setting it down, you go kind of fast. And then catch the weight by your thighs, okay? By your thighs. Right in here. Okay, cool. I'm gonna show you that from the side as well. So like I was saying earlier, a lot of people will go really wide. They'll throw their elbows out and they'll do shoulder presses like this. But that's not how the shoulders work. You wanna bring the elbows forward, have the wrist bent back, okay? Like you're kind of creating a shelf. And then as you push the weight up, you're gonna go overhead and you're gonna be able to come back. If you can't do this and keep your body straight, if you have to kind of do this to lift the weight up overhead, then that means that you have limited shoulder mobility and you have to work on that first, okay? Before doing any kind of overhead press. All right, I'll show you from the side. Okay, now from the side, okay? Okay, as I was saying, elbows out in front. You don't want to go too wide. As you push up, your elbows will automatically go outward. Just like that. All right, let's show you the same thing with the dumbbells. I prefer the barbell still, but you could do this with dumbbells as well. Okay, we have the 15s right here. And I think with the bar, I might have had like around 65, 70 pounds, something around there. I like to start my first set always with lighter weight. And then my second set, I go up about 10 pounds, 15 pounds. Third and fourth sets, even heavier, okay? So same thing. You wanna keep the dumbbells when you lift it. You could even do a curl, okay? Get it in front, elbows in front, okay? If you do this and you're way out to the side, especially seated, I'm telling you, eventually you're gonna hurt your shoulders. That's just what happens, or irritate them, okay? You don't wanna do that. So think about it, when you see Olympic lifters that lift hundreds of pounds overhead and they don't even weigh that much, what kind of technique do they have? Are their elbows way out here with the barbell? No, their elbows are in front. You have to have proper technique. It's not just about being strong, okay? Proper mechanics. So elbows out in front, like this, and then wrists are bent back a bit, and you're just gonna push directly overhead, okay? Same thing. And I don't want to see this. As you push up, I don't want to see that, okay? That's also how you hurt yourself. If you follow my instructions on these shoulder exercises, these 3 basic exercises, then you will be fine. You're not going to injure yourself. Your shoulders are going to be good. You're going to be getting a lot stronger. And if I didn't mention it, you want to get around 3 sets of 12 to 15 reps. You can go a little lower, but 10 to 15 around there. I tend to like 12 to 15. That's a really good number. Get the blood in there and get a really good pump. But same thing with the shoulder press. Even 3 sets is fine, but if you're feeling really good and strong, you can do 4 sets, okay? And remember, you do the raises first, okay? Well, let's back it up a little bit. You do the rolling out and the rotations first, which are my other videos if you want to check that out. I'm going to put it in the end of the video right here. And then you do the shoulder raises, right? The laterals. And then you do the reverse flies. You can superset those 2, which I didn't mention earlier. And after that, then you do the shoulder presses overhead, okay? The shoulder presses can also be done seated, okay, on a bench. If for some reason you have any kind of problems with your lower back, or you need to do it with your back supported on the bench, you can, but make sure you do it on a bench where the bench doesn't go to the back of your head. You want the bench only to go to about your mid to upper back, so you have space to move your head back a little bit if you need to, okay, to avoid the bar in front of your face, okay? But none of this wide stuff, okay, with the elbows way out here. Trust me, that's just not good long term. You might see some guys out there doing it for a long time, and for some reason, you know, they're still doing it, and who knows if they have shoulder pain, they're not saying anything, or if their shoulders bother them and they're not saying anything. But you don't want your shoulders to bother you. And why, if you can get the same result, right? If your shoulders can look great and you can build nice delts and you don't have to risk irritating your shoulders, do it with the proper mechanics. Do it with the elbows in front, okay? Elbows in front, like that. All right, but like I said, hope you took a lot from this video, and I will see you next time, okay? Go ahead and subscribe so you can keep up with my videos that are to come, all right? Take care. Have a good day.